Yeah, there's a second.
The Quran says that the disciples were spreading the message of Jesus and that Allah helped them spread the message of Jesus against disbelievers. And he says that he made the followers of Jesus victorious over the disbelievers. And he says that he will make them victorious. They will remain victorious until the day of judgment. So there's no point in time where the disbelievers will overcome the believers of Jesus and be able to corrupt their message, because Allah promised to preserve them against them, to hold them higher and victorious over the disbelievers. So there's no way they can come in and corrupt the message of the followers.
Logic, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So I just want to ask you a question. Like, just something off topic before I go through the question in the panel, alright?
Something off topic?
Before I go to the question of the panel, alright?
What makes you think it's okay to come here and go off the topic that I have on the panel and put my topic that I have on the panel on the side and say, we'll get to that later?
Well, okay, I can go through the topic that you want, but alright, sure. We'll go through the topic, then I'm gonna ask you the question. Alright?
Fair enough.
Alright. So explain to me your question, because I don't understand it.
It's not really a question. It's just a statement. It's an observation I made by reading the Quran that Allah made me believe in the crucifixion.
Well, how though?
Well, he made it appear that Jesus was on the cross,
But
when he really wasn't, right?
Okay, so first of all, bring the verse. Second of all, I think I know the verse, but it doesn't say that Allah made it appear so. It says it appeared so.
Okay, you're right. It doesn't explicitly say that Allah made it appear so. It just says, but it was made to appear so. It was made to appear so. My question is this, and the verse is chapter 4, verse 157.
All right, let me look up.
My question would be this: who made it appear so that Jesus was crucified? Who made it look like he was crucified? Who made it seem like he was crucified? That tricked all those thousands of people.
So, like, are you asking, like, did Allah predetermine it? Because there's a difference between predetermination and predestination.
Exactly. I'm not asking about, well, no, but I'm not asking about determination. I'm asking about who did it. Who made it appear that Jesus was crucified on the cross?
Well, it's probably the people who persecuted Jesus.
Wait, wouldn't the people who persecuted Jesus want him to be crucified? Why would they trick people to make them think he was crucified? Wouldn't they want to crucify him actually?
What do you mean? Like, okay, what do you mean by your question? Can you restate your question again?
You said maybe it was the people who was persecuting Jesus that made it appear that he was crucified, right?
Yeah.
My question is, wouldn't they want to crucify Jesus in reality? Like, they wouldn't want to fake it. They would actually want to kill him, right?
But what the point is, Allah actually switched Jesus with someone else because they wanted him crucified.
Wait, who switched Jesus with somebody else?
Allah.
So it was Allah who made it appear that Jesus was crucified.
But he didn't. But he didn't give the choice. You know, he didn't predetermine it.
But he's the one who. It
was their free will to try to do it.
He's the one who performed the substitution that tricked everybody, right?
Not trick. I won't say trick.
Well, okay. Was Jesus really crucified?
I'll say no.
And people thought that he really was crucified, right? Because they thought they were crucifying Jesus, right?
I mean, I don't see any evidence from, your Bible that suggests so.
It's not about my Bible. It's about your Quran.
I know, but if you're
so your Quran says that the people thought that they crucified Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why they thought that is because Allah tricked them into believing that, right?
Not tricked. I won't say tricked.
Well, that's what a trick is when you get someone to think
he saved Jesus,
something that's not.
No, trick implies where he promised something and then he doesn't do it. Allah didn't promise for Jesus to get crucified.
Well, so that's not what a trick is. A trick is when you mislead someone into believing something that's not true.
Wait, misleading? All right. So okay. So what's your point?
So Allah is the reason why people believed Jesus was crucified in the first place, right?
I mean, I have no argument, so I can't make a conclusion right now. But
it's not about you having to have an argument. Just follow the logic where it leads. Allah is the one who substituted Jesus on the cross, thereby making people believe that they're crucifying Jesus when they're actually not. So this idea, this belief that Jesus was crucified was started by Allah's trick. He made us believe that he was crucified, that he was really on the cross when he wasn't. right?
I don't know yet, but sure. Let's just go with that. Let's go for the sake of argument, sure.
All right. So when that's the case, Allah tricked all of us into believing a false thing, which then birthed Christianity.
I won't say about Christianity because Christianity
Yes, it
doesn't. All right, wait. The Christianity doesn't only depend on the crucifixion; it depends on many other things.
No. The Christianity, the crux of it, begins at the crucifixion of Jesus and his resurrection. Him rising from the dead. These people seeing Jesus alive and saying, "Hold on a second, we saw you get crucified," and Jesus is like, I'm alive. Here I am. Look, I'm alive. They swear up and down that Jesus then rose from the dead because they saw, or they think that they saw Jesus actually die because of Allah.
I saw it like, okay, so we're now talking about Christianity, so of course we're gonna bring up, the biblical thought of crucifixion, right? We're gonna bring up, if we're talking about Christianity, of course we're gonna talk about how, the Bible talks about Jesus not being crucified. It doesn't say exactly where he was crucified. Each four Gospels doesn't say anything about him being crucified. So
let's see, John chapter 19.
All right, wait, John.
After this, John chapter 19.
Wait, which translation?
Doesn't matter. Pick any one. I'm gonna start at verse.
Use the ESV, right? Use the ESV, right?
I use the ESV, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring up the ESV.
John chapter 19, starting at verse 16, it says.
Wait, let me bring it up first.
All right, let me know when you're ready, man.
All right. Okay, I brought it up.
All right. Starting at verse 16. So he delivered him over to them to be crucified. So they took Jesus and went out he went out bearing his own cross to the place called the place of a skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. There they crucified him, and with him two others, one on either side, and Jesus between them. Pilate also wrote on the inscription and put it on the cross. It read, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. So according to the gospel of Jesus, on the account of John, Jesus was clearly crucified, right?
Is that if I go to the part again? Which part?
Verse 18, bro.
Verse 18.
Why are you clicking? I thought you were already there.
Yeah, no, I'm just highlighting.
So you see the verse?
Yeah, I see it.
So according to the gospel, the account of John, Jesus was clearly crucified, right?
Well, yeah. So you're saying that's according to John, right?
That's according to John's gospel. Jesus was crucified, right? As we just read. Right?
For now, sure. Until I do my research, then sure.
Well, this is the research you got. You're reading it from the horse's mouth. You're in John. It's right in your face. You got it on your screen. It says in verse 18. I'll let you read it. Can you read it out loud? What verse 18 says?
Okay, sure. All right. So it says there they crucified him with two others, one on either side, and Jesus between them.
All right. So according to this, Jesus was definitely crucified along with two other people, right?
Yeah. For now. Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Let's go over to Luke now. Go to Luke.
Wait, before we go to Luke, is it okay if we just, look at John 19:17?
Nope.
Oh, yeah. Okay, close.
You said none of the Gospels say that Jesus was crucified. That's what you said. So I'm showing you that all of the Gospels say that he was crucified.
Well, I'll do my research. All right, but just bring the verses and then we're going to...
I'm helping you do your research right now, man. That's what I'm here for. You're doing your research right now. So now
I know, but the research doesn't end with you. It ends when I do the conclusion. When I look at...
I'm starting you off. I'm just giving you a head start now. So...
Sure, you can.
Can you go to Luke 23 now?
Okay, Luke 23, sure.
All right. So you're going to read verse 33 and 34.
Wait, John 23?
Luke 23.
Oh.
Luke 23, read 33 and 34. You there?
Yeah, okay. So, I'm not really that knowledgeable on the crucifixion. So, for now, I'm going to do my research. So, just, give me a head start, then I'm going to do my research.
That's what I'm doing. Are you there at the verse?
Yeah, okay. So where in Matthew and the other, does it say?
Wait, did you read Luke?
Yeah, I read.
Okay, I'm going to read it out loud for the people. Luke 23, verse 33 and 34. And when they came to the place that is called the skull, there they crucified him, and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they cast lots to divide his garments. All right. Now, what's there? Mark. Go to Mark chapter 14. I'm sorry. Mark 15, excuse me. Mark 16, or Mark 15,
Oh,
verse 22.
okay. So that's okay. That is it. Okay, if we just go through Mark, then I'm gonna ask you my question.
Oh, we're still on this topic.
Yeah, until you finish the topic.
Yeah. So you have Mark 15. You're going to read verse 24. Mark 15, verse 24. And they crucified him and divided his garments among them, casting lots for them to decide what each should take. Mark chapter 15, verse 24.
Hmm.
Matthew, you're up, Matthew. Matthew.
All right, Matthew.
Matthew 27, verse 35. Matthew 27, verse 35. It says, and when they had crucified him, they divided his garments among them by casting lots. So all four gospels are consistent that Jesus was crucified and that the soldiers gambled over his clothing when they crucified him, which is a fulfilled prophecy in Psalm 22.
Well, I'm gonna have to look that up, sure, but for now, right? So I'm not that knowledgeable on the crucifixion, so I don't have any comment on it. All right. So now is it
That's
cool
fine.
if we go to my off-topic question?
Well, let me conclude my point and then we can go off. So I want you to understand why this is important.
All right.
So obviously you have the gospels that teach that Jesus was crucified, but then you have here the Quran saying, oh, well, no, it was made to appear so. And that Allah substituted somebody. The Quran doesn't say this, but this is y'all's understanding. Allah substituted somebody in the place of Jesus, making everyone think that Jesus was being crucified. So Allah is the one who tricked everyone into believing in the crucifixion of Jesus, thus starting Christianity.
Wait, so you're saying that Allah started Christianity?
Yes, Allah is the one who started Christianity, Habibi.
Bro, Allah doesn't condemn you for that. You know why Allah condemns you in the first place? That's not the only reason why He condemns you. I mean, sure, He tells that it didn't happen, but He doesn't condemn you for that reason only. He condemns you for making Him a divine person, believing in a Trinity, and a lot of other stuff that doesn't make sense. For example, God being a human, that implies contradiction.
Well, none of this stuff would have happened if He not tricked us into believing that Jesus died by crucifixion and then rose again on the third day when his disciples saw him alive again and then started proclaiming him to be Lord of heaven and earth because he rose himself up from the dead. That's what they believe.
Not really, because bad people exist. Do you believe that bad people exist?
Huh?
Bad people exist. So now, do you believe that bad people exist?
What does that have to do with what I said?
Let me tell you why. Because bad people will corrupt the original message to make it seem as he was this person who.
Yeah. You want to know how that also is a self-refuting argument?
What do you mean? Okay, just make your argument.
The reason why what you just said is absolutely detrimental to you as a Muslim is because the Quran says that the disciples of Jesus will remain victorious over the bad people. The Quran says that the bad people will never be able to overcome them.
Can you bring the verse first?
Yeah, it's chapter 61.
Yeah.
Verse 14.
Okay, so now first of all, you're gonna have to to prove that you got the things that the books that you guys have came from the original disciples.
I don't have to prove that. Your Quran already says it. So
which verse?
Well, let's focus on one at a time. First, we're going to focus on how your Quran says that when the disciples are helping Jesus spread his message, that they will not be defeated by the bad people, that they will overcome the bad people and always overcome the bad people. The bad people will never be able to get in and overcome the followers of Jesus. Never.
So Logic, are you saying that they will be victorious on this earth or like on the day of the
on this earth? The Quran says here, this earth.
Where? I don't see it.
Chapter 61, verse 14.
Wait, let me just bring up the verse. All believers stand up as...
No, read it out loud so we can all hear it.
There's no need for me to do that, but sure. Stand up for Allah as Jesus, son of Mary, asked the disciples, who will stand up with me for Allah? The disciples replied, we will stand up for Allah. Then a group from children of Israel believed, while others disbelieved. We then supported the believers against the enemies, so they were prevailed.
Beautiful. So you see how it says Jesus told his disciples to help him in standing up for Allah, right?
For sure, sure.
What does it mean to help in the cause of Allah or stand up for Allah? What does that mean exactly?
Just probably to spread the message or like
Exactly. You're
fight for
absolutely
it.
right. You're absolutely right, to spread the message. So Jesus was spreading the message and standing up for Allah, and he asked the disciples to help him in standing up for Allah, which is spreading the message. So the disciples were also spreading the message, right, that Jesus gave him to spread, that Allah gave him to spread. And it says that the disciples of Jesus were victorious over the bad people, right?
But it doesn't say in this earth, and that they were victorious in this earth.
So where were they where were they standing up? Where were they standing up for Allah? In heaven?
No, on earth.
Very good. So
But that
they're
doesn't mean
standing
that
up
the
for Allah.
victorious are gonna happen in this earth. It might happen in the next life.
Come on, brother. Don't play these games, man. Don't play these games.
That's basic Quranic literature, bro.
That's not. No, there's not even there's no single scholar that even understands it that way. So please stop. All right. They're on Earth. They're spreading the message on Earth. So are they going to be successful in spreading the message, or will they be unsuccessful in spreading the message?
Successful, but that doesn't mean that the message would stay until the day of judgment. The message.
Okay, nice. It doesn't mean that the message will stay preserved until the day of judgment. Go to chapter 3,
Chapter 3, ayat.
55. This verse seals the deal. We all saw it coming.
Okay, so what's... So you're saying because he said elevate. So, okay, make your argument. I don't misrepresent.
No,
Make your
just read the verse, and then you'll see what the argument is. Read the verse. Out loud, please, so we can all be with you.
Okay, but after I read it, is it okay if you make your argument?
That's what I just said.
Okay, for sure. Remember Allah said, "O Jesus, I'll take you and raise you up to myself. I'll deliver you from those who disbelieved and elevate your followers above the disbelievers until the day of judgment. Then to me you'll all return, and I'll settle all your disputes." So what's wrong with this verse?
So you see how it says that the disciples of Jesus, not just them, but all the followers of Jesus, will be victorious until the day of judgment, right?
But victorious in what?
In helping the cause of Allah, in what we just read in 61:14.
Bro, you know what you do? You just take some verses and then you put them together. That's not how it works. You need to read each verse in context before you make your argument.
What was the okay in 61 verse 14, the one we read prior?
Yeah.
What were the disciples doing that Allah made them victorious in over the disbelievers?
Trying to spread the message.
Good. So Allah helped them in spreading the message, and therefore made them victorious over the disbelievers in spreading the message. Over here in 355, it continues the same thought and says that the believers of Jesus will be victorious over the disbelievers, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference? There is no difference. So it's talking about the same thing. The only thing that's different is that it gives you more detail. It says how long they'll be victorious, which is until the day of judgment.
But victorious in terms that he will elevate them. And even the verse that says this, it says that
they're uppermost above the disbelievers. How would they be uppermost above the disbelievers?
In deeds, in ranks.
No, it's not. It has nothing. What deed?
Ranks.
What
ranks.
deed? What deed?
Good deeds.
What good deed?
Of them spreading the message.
Boom! So them spreading the message is the good deed that elevates them and puts them above the disbelievers. So they're victorious above the disbelievers in spreading the message until the day of judgment. So there's not any point in time where the disbelievers, the bad people, will be elevated or victorious over the followers of Jesus. They can't get in and corrupt the message of the followers of Jesus because they have Allah's help.
But that doesn't mean that Allah, that doesn't mean Allah preserved it.
That literally, if he didn't, then he's a liar.
That's not, well, okay, so make your argument, Kevin, because my alarm hit. So what?
I'll make it very simple. The Quran says that the disciples were spreading the message of Jesus, and that Allah helped them spread the message of Jesus against disbelievers. And he says that he made the followers of Jesus victorious over the disbelievers, and he says that he will make them victorious. They will remain victorious until the day of judgment. So there's no point in time where the disbelievers will overcome the believers of Jesus and be able to corrupt their message, because Allah promised to preserve them against them, to hold them higher and victorious over the disbelievers. So there's no way they can come in and corrupt the message of the followers of Jesus. They can't do it.
Logic, you know what you just did? You just jumped over the point. you build your argument, but then you jump to the conclusion without making another argument. What you did here is that you tried to say just because just because they are victorious over the disbelievers, that means that the message is still preserved. But that's not what the verse say. You try to make conclusion based on false premises.
Okay, I think that's it now.
Okay, I'm go over my off topic question.
We don't have. I feel like intellectually, we reached a limit.
But yeah, okay, well, whatever. Okay,
Are when you can't even accept what your Quran says, and then you have to make stuff up with what your Quran says.
I'm not making stuff up, but sure.
What can we do? How can I have a conversation with you?
Okay, now can I go to my question?
Does your Quran say that they'll be victorious until the day of judgment?
Wait, didn't you just end the conversation?
Thanks for coming, bro.
Wait, I'll just go over my off-topic question first before you go.
No.
Okay, so would you?
Too dishonest for me. Waste of time.